Right, you join me here today. We're going to do a little bit of tench fishing. We've had this little fish already, which is nice. It's always a good start. Basically today what we're going to do is I'm going to talk you through how you find some features on these weedy lakes. We're going to do a little bit of snag fishing as well, and I'm going to show you how you can catch these fish from close to snags but still do it safely. Right, so I've hooked this right up against those snags, so it's important when you first hook into them that you don't give them an inch, otherwise they'll have you in. And then it's a weedy swim, so you've got to give them a little bit of stick. Just try and keep them out of those weeds. I don't think it's a big fish, but it's still exciting, especially when that alarm goes off. Oh. Yep, so that's the second one off that spot going against those reeds. We'll get this one slipped back and see if we can get some more. Right, so the spot I'm fishing today, it's quite tight to those rushes you can see behind me there. Now all I did is, when I first got to my swim, I just got my little sort of bait up spot finding rod out, clipped one of our small bait gripper leads in, had a little cast around in various places in front of reeds and felt like a good hard drop to see if it will clear or not. Once I'd found that good hard drop, to make sure there were no weed, I just use one of these just to drag it back a little bit, and then when you bring it in then you can tell what kind of weed you're fishing over, if it's sort of silkweed or Canadian weed or anything like that. So once I've found my spot and I'm happy that it's clear, so obviously you don't want to fish in the middle of where there's loads of snags, it's just a simple case of just putting your braid under your line clip, going to your marker sticks, wrapping it out until you hit your clip, and then you can measure your fishing rods to exactly the same distance. Right, so we found the spot we want to fish in front of those reeds. We've had a good lead around in front to make sure it's clear and there's no weed at all. So the only sort of snags we can see are the ones that are above the water. So when I come to fish these spots, I never use a buzz bar, I always use single sticks. And the reason for that is I always want my rods pointing directly at the spot that I'm fishing. If you have them off to an angle, then the rod tip can bend around too much and it can give the fish too much room to run into those snags. So it's always pointed directly at it. I also have the alarm on maximum sensitivity, so that as soon as that fish picks that bait up I get an indication straight away. I also have a short drop to my bobbins as well, because again, too long a drop gives them that little bit of extra line, which if you're fishing types of snags can allow them to run into it. These reels have a bait runner feature, but I never fish a bait runner next to snags. I also have it switched off, and I also have my clutch as well. I thought I was right then. I also have my clutch then set so tight that I can't pull any line off it. And it's important that when that bobbin does go off, you do get them a couple of single beeps, then you're onto the rod straight away. Also the rod needs to be secure so it don't get pulled in, and I use our rear butt grips for that. You can see you can pull that rod then, it's not going nowhere. So it's a safe, it's a secure setup, and you know that rod's never going to get pulled in. Right, so all I'm doing up to these reeds, I'm just fishing a little inline maggot grub feeder, but because I'm fishing up to these snags, I would normally fish a size 14 nuts with maggots. Because I'm fishing up to these snags and it's hit and hold, I've upped it to a size 12 grappler rather than the 14 that I'd use in an open water swim. And all I've got on that is, I've just got a small rubber maggot as like a little maggot liner. I'm just putting 2 or 3 red maggots on. It's, you know, these hooks are really strong. I've upped my hook length as well from £6 to £8 because everything needs to be quite strong to pull away from these snags, and that's just how I'm catching those fish today. It's just a simple inline grub feeder, short hook length of £8 line and a size 12 grappler. Another great little products that I use of ours when I'm fishing like this is it's these small sort of interchangeable Olivets on a little plastic stem. Now basically what I'm doing is I'm using them almost as a flying back lead. It's just stopped with one of our float stops there, and all that does is it pins your line down like a normal back lead would, but because I'm using such a small size, that's a 2 gram one, it just sits on top of weed, don't sink into the weed, so it has the effect of a back lead in sinking your line, but it doesn't get caught up in the weed because it just sits on top. And if I'm fishing over a clearer spot, I can just simply take that off that little stem, and I can add a heavier weight if I wanted to. The good thing about these as well is if you do get a fish and it runs through a weed, these can come off as well, which means that you're not catching up on anything. So if a fish runs through a weed, that can just slide off and keep in direct control of fish. Should be a bleeding carp. No, it's a tench. That's it. Right. Yes, that'll do. Right, now soon I've just netted that fish there on that right hand rod. This left hand rod's ripped away next to those rushes. It's nice to get a double look up. You can see that that little fine back legs come off, like I said they sometimes do when they run through weeds. We'll get this one in on this fantastic summer's day, and we'll have a look at a pair of them. See if I can get one in without losing the other one. It's only a smaller one, this one. Oh, that'll do. So here's the second one of that double take. It's a lot smaller than the first one. I'll slip this one back and we'll have a look at that bigger fish. Right, so this is the first fish of that double take, and definitely the biggest fish of the day. All taken after finding those clear spots in that weed. It's the fourth fish we've had today, but I think weather's taking a turn for worse. I'm getting a little bit wet now. I know Tyrone's under brolly now, sheltering a little bit, but I think it's time to get this one back and head off home.